What is going on, everybody? How you guys doing? How is your life shaping up? Mine has been beautiful the last 2 days. I went down to Washington, Landover, Maryland, and going into the game, it was a really poor atmosphere on both sides. I'm not gonna lie. Like the parking lot was not filled. There was no noise whatsoever. It was just one of those days where you thought, you're gonna have a quiet game. You enter the stadium, all Eagles fans. Literally all Eagles fans. I think in the lower bowl, there had to be at least 40,000 Eagles fans. Had to be. And probably more, to be completely honest with you, because the fact of the matter is that I couldn't find one Redskins fan in the sections that I was looking at. I just couldn't. It was impossible. And it's unbelievable. Like everyone says that we're just so piss poor fans. But it was just like a wonderland. It was ridiculous. Maybe that's not the right word, but I've never ever in my life seen anything like that. That was outstanding. All the Eagles fans that went should give themselves a pat on the back. Like seriously, that was one of the more remarkable things I've ever seen as a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And everything that I've ever said about our fans, it's all out of love hate. Sometimes I think our fans are really stupid, but at the same time, when you do stuff like that, all right, it was a 3-hour drive to get to that stadium. All right, it was a 3-hour drive. Now, if you live close to that stadium, if it's an easy drive for you to get there, fine, whatever. But 40,000 Eagles fans, 40,000 went down there to watch this team play. That is ridiculous. That's like Buffalo Bill fan style. That's insane. That is unheard of. And this team was 6-7 going into that game. Now, I went because, you know what? I saw on StubHub that the tickets weren't that expensive. This kid from YouTube, Josh, he follows me, and he's actually a huge Madden pro. He follows me. He's like, "Listen, do you want to go to the game? Let's get tickets. I want to go to that game because I wanted to go. Everyone that was watching my live streams last week knew that I wanted to go to this game, but I would have went down alone because at the time my friend Trevor wouldn't have been able to go because he wanted to take off a week of traveling, which is understandable because the guy travels a lot. He travels a lot. But Josh and I got tickets for like $68 in the end zone. It was like section 130. And they were fantastic seats, and at the last second, Trevor decided to come down because he was like, fuck it. He liked the philosophy that I gave that, I'm going to go to every single Eagles game until they get eliminated, Redskins, Cowboys, Giants, etc. And, it was just one of those experiences you don't experience often outside your home stadium. That place was rocking. And we were the away team. Go look back at highlights. Look back at highlights on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. When Greg Ward caught that touchdown, the camera shook. The camera shook. Like it was like an earthquake was happening. And this is a road game. It's a road game. It was just absolutely incredible what our fan base did yesterday. I've never seen anything like that. I haven't in my life. Now, I'm going to stop talking about the fans just a little bit because, I went on 3 minutes. They deserve their props. The fans deserve their props from going down to that stadium. It was absolutely incredible what they did yesterday. And, I got to give props. Wentz fans, Foles fans, people that Folesian Society, Wentzian Society, we all came together yesterday and we saw a magnificent Eagles victory. One that, second week in a row, our quarterback Carson Wentz went right down the field and delivered an absolutely memorable performance once again with practice squad guys. It was absolutely incredible what I witnessed there yesterday at FedEx Field. It really was. And I won't forget that game as long as I live. And it's just it's supposed to be a meaningless rivalry game. I'll never forget that game as long as I live because it was just so epic. It was so fun. It was just so enjoyable being down there with the fans. It really was. And the Redskins fans, you know what? We were sitting next to some Redskins fans, and this guy was wearing a Washington Capitals hat. And I turned to him and I was like, so at least you got the Caps, at least you got the Nationals. He's like, yeah, I understand that, but it's all about the Skins to me. Like, it looked like he wanted to cry because he was like, you guys got a Super Bowl, I never got to see one. This guy was like probably like 28 years old. He's like, I never got to see one, and I really want to see one. And their team was in such disarray. And shout out to the fucking Redskins. Now listen, I don't like the Redskins, but shout out to the Redskins and the fans that went there, because the Redskins played a tough ass game. They really did. That's a team that's been battling their fucking lives out for the last month. They really have. They beat Carolina. They stuck with Green Bay at Lambeau. They've been fucking playing. Dwayne Haskins is showing out. McLaurin's going to be a beast for that team. An absolute beast for that team. That guy's fast. Once he gets in the open field, the Jets are on. He's gone. That guy's going to be a scary threat for the future. He really is. But getting into the game just a little bit. By the way, my friend Antonio won fantasy tonight by a half a point. So congrats to him. Getting into the game a little bit, it was one of those back and forth games. I knew it would be. The defense, the pressure wasn't getting there, and that's the big thing about our defense. The defense is a hit or miss because it's either the pressure gets there and our secondary performs because the pressure is getting to the quarterback and he doesn't get the ball off right, or the pressure doesn't get there and our secondary is not good enough to cover and the quarterback roasts them. So going into this Dallas game, it's going to be really important for our pressure to get home. Fletcher Cox has to step up. He really does. And everyone wants to say that, our secondary is the reason for this defense downfall. It's not at all. If you look at our weapons on the secondary, it's almost a carbon copy of the Super Bowl run. It really is, besides P-Rob. It's almost identical as the Super Bowl run. The secondary does its job when there's pressure created and the quarterback's forced to throw a crappy ball. They do a great job, but the pressure's not getting home, and that's something that we need to address going into this Cowboys game. Jim Schwartz needs to create some special blitz designs. He needs to do a lot more than what he's been doing because, I like Jim Schwartz personally. I think he's a good D coordinator. A lot of people give him crap. I think he's a good D coordinator, but his pressure's not getting home, and he doesn't like the blitz because his secondary can't cover. So I don't know. I like Jim Schwartz, but I don't know. Yes, and Chris Wild in the comment section, shout out to him, just said Cox only has 3.5 sacks. That's not getting it done. It's not. He's on a milk carton, and this is a guy we overpaid to keep him here. In my opinion, overpaid him because, he's just not showing out. He's not at all. And there's Trevor right there. Trevor, he came down. He sat next to Tony Bruno and Luigi. Luigi from used to be WIP. They're on ESPN now. So shout out to Trevor. He came down. He drove down. He drove back. And yeah, it's just a great group to go with. It really is. Those are my sports guys. And Trevor will be on with me on Thursday to discuss the Flyers game as it's going on and other things. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, Luigi Cordo and Funk and Fantasy. Yep. I'm gonna read some of these comment sections after I just continue with this magnificent effort by the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone was saying that the game was over once the Redskins scored on us, and I was like, listen. Carson Wentz has all the confidence in the world now. He delivered that game-winning drive against the Giants on Monday Football last week, and the players are playing for him now. They are. Greg Ward looks good. Like, he had 3 receptions yesterday, but that guy looks like he could potentially be a baller. And you got to remember that this guy was a quarterback at the University of Houston 2 years ago. He converted into a wide receiver. And this guy, he looks like a gamer. He looks a lot better than Aguilar does. I hate to break it to you, he does. And that's not his natural position. So it really should be interesting. And Zach Ertz is getting wide open because Goddard is catching the ball. It's funny how this works. Everyone wants to say that Carson Wentz, he doesn't have anything around him. But the fact of the matter is, besides J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, he has some pieces around him. He really does. Zach Ertz is the best player on offense, and he's getting open. So Yeah, and Greg Ward has hands unlike Aguilar. Trevor just said it's true. He does. Greg Ward is playing. He's playing. He's catching the ball. We saw a debut from Robert Davis. It wasn't much yesterday, but I think we're going to implement him into the offense a little bit more against Dallas because we need a burner on the outside. That should be interesting to look at. But yeah, I'll discuss the Dallas game a little bit more at Philly 500 tomorrow night after I get done work. But this Redskins game just showed this team has a ton of heart. It really does. Now, are they a good team? Not really. They're not. They're not there this year, and it has a lot to do with injuries. It has a lot to do with coaches. But they're a fun group of guys to watch now because what kind of skill level this team has. It's not very much. It's not. And the fact that they're still in the playoff hunt at 7-7, and there's that 1 week division every single year that gets into the playoffs. So please kick rocks with that discussion about we should fix seeding. There's always that one division that always gets in when they don't deserve it. It's every single year. It's not just the NFC East. It's every single year, and it's just win your division. It's that simple. Win your division. And, we're still in it. We beat Dallas, and we're in. Now, there are some pros and cons to that Dallas game. If we beat Dallas, we have to beat the Giants, all right? Eli Manning's not starting. I feel like we beat the Giants pretty easily. I really do if we beat them. But we would have to beat them nonetheless. And any given Sunday, you never know. We would have to beat the Giants, but if the Dallas Cowboys win on Sunday, I looked up the scenarios. If the Dallas Cowboys win on Sunday since they beat the Rams, they would celebrate on our home turf. And to me, that would hurt because the Dallas Cowboys we haven't beat since our first game in 2017. And it's been a while since we beat Mr. Clapper. So it's definitely a game that, it's going to be fun to be at. I'll be there. But at the same time, if we lose that game, I'm going to be very, 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 very upset. And I want our team to play like we did the last 2 weeks. Well, the last 5 quarters, not the first 3 quarters in that Giants game. I want us to play like we did the last 5 quarters, and I really think we can win this game. I really do. There's a lot of people saying that the Dallas Cowboys are much better than the Redskins and Giants. Zomp is even saying that. My co-host on Saturdays is even saying that there's no chance the Eagles win this game because he feels like Dallas has all the weapons and they're clicking at the right time. And I totally disagree with him. I really do because I just feel like the Eagles the last 3 years were a team of destiny heading into the playoffs. I really do. And we had a ton of shitty down years. We really did. Even last year was a shitty down year. We still made it to the divisional round of the playoffs. So it's just going to be one of those games. And South of Heaven 88's in here. He's a Cowboys fan. I don't know how he feels about his team this year. We both know that our teams aren't that good. All right. On paper, realistically, our teams aren't that good. That's why it's going to be such an intriguing game on Sunday because both these teams match up pretty well. And hey, may the best man win. I'm not a biased fan. Listen, I am nervous about this game on Sunday. I really am because the Cowboys, no matter if they give up on Jason Garrett or if they didn't give up on Jason Garrett, they always come to play against us, especially in the link. So I got to be ready. I got to be ready for this game. I got to be pumped for this game. And I know you guys are just as pumped for me. It's what, 6 days away. We're at 425. We're not getting flexed into Sunday Night Football. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I'm really pumped for this game. I'll have Philly 500 on tomorrow, and we'll discuss a lot more of it. But, this is definitely Carson Wentz's biggest game of his career. It is. Because if he could win this game and get us into the playoffs and get that playoff game under his belt, that's huge. That is big. And I'm going to read some of these comments real quick. I can't read all of them because you guys are the best. You give so many comments, you write so many things in this comment section, and I just started it 14 minutes ago. But there's a lot of discussion like be ready for Sunday. Peterson's better than Garrett. All this stuff. Wow, 51. Yeah, dude, my streams are awesome. The people in here are awesome. Everyone's pumped for this Dallas Cowboys game, and it was funny seeing Urban Meyer in Dan Snyder's suite yesterday. I think Urban Meyer, if you're asking my honest opinion, is going to go to the Cowboys. That's my honest opinion. But Urban Meyer being at the Redskins game yesterday was it was weird. It was weird. I didn't see him until you told me about it. But Yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting game. What was the best game I've ever been to? The NFC Championship game against Minnesota. That was by far the best game I've ever been to. It wasn't even close. And it's gonna be a fun week. I know we're gonna have some Dallas fans chirping their little mouse, coming into the comment section every single day this week because I'm gonna try to have a stream every single day because it's a big week. It's a huge week for us Eagles fans, and I hope you guys are as pumped as I am. And I just cannot wait for this game. I'm so pumped, and I think we're gonna win out. So listen, get some sleep this week. You're gonna need it. Get a ton of sleep this week. Make sure you go to bed early because we need you guys on Sunday. Whether you're going to the game, whether you're gonna be at home, we need you guys to show your Eagles pride. Do whatever you can to support this team in the best way possible, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube stream, any way you can. Just fucking, just bring it all. Bring your energy, and we need this game. We cannot lose to Dallas. We can't. We cannot lose to Dallas. And maybe I'll have some Cowboys streamers on this week to discuss the game. Maybe I will. This is a big week. I know some of them are nervous too. I really do. I spoke to one today. He was like, listen, if I feel like you guys could beat us because he has the same philosophy that I have, that they gave up on Garrett. But the thing was yesterday, they didn't give up on him at all. They scored 44 points. So it's such a weird game to predict. It really is a weird game to predict. We are 2.5-point underdogs going into this game. South of Heaven, I'm probably going to have you on this week. No lie, I probably am. But yeah, with that being said, guys, fly Eagles fly. If you like this stream, click the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We had upwards of 55 people in here. That is amazing for 11:20 at night. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Fly Eagles fly. I'll be back tomorrow with Philly 500. And let's go Birds. Fly Eagles fly. I'm out. Bye, guys.